Okie dokie, I believe we are all the way live. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I'm your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass, live and in living color here with you only on the graveyard. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are in living color. And it's my favorite daily program, not daily program, but weekly program on Thursday nights. It's Graveyard Day. It's John Grande's Graveyard tonight. Welcome, everybody. I'm very excited for the show here tonight, where I'm going to have to put myself through some pain. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is for your entertainment and your entertainment only because, man, this was not fun for me. But I think this has to be done. Something has to be said. Something needs to be said. Something needs to be done. And tonight, we do it. We will dive into the worst horror movie ideas of all time, in my humble opinion. And I know there's that classic old saying, oh, well, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Well, tonight, I'm changing that saying. Tonight, I switched the saying to this. Tonight, if you don't have anything nice to say, come sit by me. Tonight, on Grande's Graveyard, if you have nothing nice to say, join the chat, throw a like, throw a subscription, throw a comment, only on the graveyard, because tonight there is no positivity. It's just the worst ideas that horror has had to come down the pike of all time. So I'm very excited here. Of course, we have a bunch of people in the chat. Of course, Miss C was here before we even went live. Ciao, Grande and the Graveyardian crew. Welcome, Miss C. The Cemetery Man is going to bury some movies. 6 feet under only. Yeah, we're going to bury some movies, all right. We got 8 movies on something. I'm going to tell you guys in just a second here. We got Double H saying, yo, what's up, Double G? What's up, Double H? Hope all is well with you. We got Matteo Appendino in the house. Ciao, Grande. Ready for good laughs and maybe a rant? Well, maybe just 1 or 2 or maybe 8. Hi to the whole Graveyard family. Welcome, Mateo. Hope all is well with you, my friend. We got the Devious Diva, Double D, Double H. We got all the alliteration people in the house. Hey, everyone. Diva, hope all is well with you, my friend. We got Ghostface Brett in the house. It's Brett's birthday today, so everybody shoot Brett a happy freaking birthday. Ghostface Brett, happy B-Day, my friend. Hope all is well with you. Hope your day was awesome. We got Slasher Fred. Cowabunga, dude. Cowabunga, dude. Yeah, we're rocking my Ninja Turtles, my non-drug-free one. I know one of the episodes I wore the drug-free one, and somebody left a long comment. We were upset with the shirt. So to that person, fuck you. Yeah, that's right. That's the type of show we're running here tonight, baby. We are all positive. All positivity goes out the goddamn window. So yeah, happy birthday. It's actually Brett. It's Brett's birthday. But close enough. Hey, what's up, Graveyard fam? Let's party. Triple M, Mearnsey Movie Mansion's in the house. Happy birthday, Brett. Brett, my bad. All good. Thank you so much. It'll be a lot better if the Mavs go up 1-0. Well, hopefully that is your birthday gift. If not, I don't know. If not, I know you were trying to bid on those strangers masks that they were releasing that were for like crazy money. So maybe you get in on one of those. So tonight, I decided we shake it up a little bit. Instead of me randomly picking these by myself or pulling them out of a bag or whatever, I figure we spin the wheel again. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, tonight it is not the Wheel of Fortune. It is the Wheel of Torture. Yes, 8 movies, 8 regrets, 8 horrendously bad ideas. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to spin this son of a bitch. So everybody, cheers. I actually drank my beverage, so cheers. I have nothing to hold up. Cheers to you all. Hope you have a great, wonderful Thursday, and hope this starts a kickoff of a wonderful weekend. We got Salty P checking in, saying, what's up, good, everybody? What's up, Salty P? Thank you, says Brett. Brett says Unfriended first. Well, it's the Wheel of Torture. If the Wheel of Torture says so, goddammit, it is. But we are going to give this son of a bitch a spin. So everybody, here goes nothing. Cheers. Here we go. Oh, boy. This is just torture. Oh no. No. Already, we're going to have some fucking shit to say. Oh, man. All right. So the first one out of the bat is a Kevin Smith movie. And generally, you know, I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. I love Clerks. I love Mallrats. I like Chasing Amy. I like Dogma. I like a lot of the old school Kevin Smith movies. But holy shit, this is one of his worst. It's not his worst. Clerks 3 and Yoga Hosers would probably take that title. But if there's a third worst, and if there was a worst idea that Kevin Smith ever had to make a movie, you look no further than this movie from the year, I believe, 2014. This is Tusk. Brief plot synopsis. A brash and arrogant podcaster gets more than he bargained for when he travels to Canada to interview a mysterious recluse who has a rather disturbing fondness for walruses. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a fucking movie where a podcaster flies to Canada and interviews Michael Parks, who goes on to drug Justin Long, who plays the lead character, drugs him, and then slowly but surely starts to turn Justin Long into a walrus. That's a real movie. That is a real movie they spent real money on. There are people starving in some places. And they decided to take a few $1 million and make fucking Tusk, a movie about a fucking man who obsesses with walruses and decides to turn Justin Long into one. Yeah, bad idea, in my humble opinion. And where did this idea come from? I'm going to tell you. So basically, Kevin Smith has had quite a few podcasts over his career. Of course, there was Fat Man on Batman for all kind of Batman comic fans. And then, of course, there was the Smodcast, which he and his longtime best friend and fellow producer Scott Mosier, they ran it. And basically, this is in the era where, like, it's post Zach and Miri Make a Porno. It's post Kevin Smith kind of being clean to being a pothead, right? Because after Zach and Miri Makes a Porno flopped, he got really, really into doing marijuana and would wake and bake and basically became really, really into weed culture. The two of them started smoking some doobies on this podcast, and they started reading random articles, one of which involved this exact story. Somebody going to a place and getting paid money to dress up as a fucking walrus. And Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier talked about this for over an hour. They thought it was the funniest fucking thing they ever heard. And the next thing you know, they're trying to make a movie about it, and they ended up doing it. Words cannot describe how terrible this is. I mean, like, some of these is just self-explanatory. And man, this one should be. I mean, that's just a fucking horrendously bad idea. And it could have been saved if it was a situation where, yeah, we're just being goofy. But I think one thing you will find with almost all 8 of these movies that we'll talk about here tonight is that these were movies that I think for the most part were playing it seriously. I think that's a big difference between a bad movie with, a bad idea that knows it's bad, and then a bad movie with a bad idea that's just terrible for all the wrong reasons. Now, there are terrible movies with ridiculous, terrible, worst concepts out there like Sharknado and Zombievers and all these movies that kind of purposefully are being tongue-in-cheek, purposefully are being bad. This is not one of them, though. This one, I think, is for the most part. There's a couple laughs in there, obviously, because it's Kevin Smith. Even in Red State, which is a much better movie than this by the same guy, which came out before this. Even that is a lot better movie than this. There is still some comedy here that is intentional, but most of it, I kind of see it as playing it seriously. And with a concept this stupid, I just don't understand. Of course, the man who wants to turn Justin Long into a walrus is the late Michael Parks, who is a wonderful actor, and it's a shame one of his last roles was this fucking movie. You have Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith. Yeah, that's how much he's into comic books. He named his fucking kid Harley Quinn. Yeah. And then Lily Rose Depp, yeah, who, you guessed it, is Johnny Depp's charisma vacuum daughter, who sucks. And then, of course, because you gave my daughter a role, Kevin, we have Johnny Depp in the movie. It should have been Johnny Smith. It should have been anybody but Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp in this movie giving arguably his worst career performance as this clueless, bumbling detective that's just running around talking in weird accents for no fucking reason. And for some reason, this movie does have fans. This movie does have defenders. This movie does have somewhat of a following, and I will never understand why. I don't think this is funny. I don't think this is scary. I don't think this is a good idea. I think this is one of the most terrible ideas to go ahead and waste millions upon millions of dollars to do. Like, what a fucking horror show, man. And from a guy I really liked. I liked Kevin Smith. I liked a lot of his, like I was saying, Clerks was a movie that like shaped a huge part of me in, high school, moving into college. And Mallrats is one of my favorite comedies ever. I love Mallrats. Those are probably my favorite too. Even Clerks 2 is solid, but man, this was just, I think, the beginning of the end for him. I really do. I never minded Zach and Miri. Cop Out was terrible. Red State I liked, and then this was just the beginning of a downward spiral that he's never recovered from. I mean, Yoga Hosers comes out after this. Let's make a movie with these two. Yeah, that went fucking bad. Red, white, and sometimes fucking blue. Blue in your fucking balls. Horrible. But let's see what y'all have to say about the movie with a fucking man turned into a walrus into it. Spin that wheel. Let's make the deal, buddy. The wheel of torture. Tusk, LOL. Yeah. Clerks is one of the worst. Clerks 3, yeah, it's bad. Clerks 3 is terrible. Salty, the original Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is such a hit movie. I love the original Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and I know that was supposed to be it for the whole View Askew universe. That was like the movie that was supposed to wrap it all up, and then Jersey Girl came out and bombed, and then okay, fuck it, I'll go back to doing Clerks and stuff, and he did successfully. I just think it's a shame. To me, the biggest thing about this movie being a terrible idea is the fact that it comes from a guy that I like so much in Kevin Smith, like I said, like a guy that I really considered humble and dry humor and funny. Like I love those in Evenings with Kevin Smith where he tells stories. Like the great one is when he tells the John Peters story and the Superman Lives or Superman Returns, whatever the fuck it was going to be called, movie that he was going to do. That's one of the funniest stories ever to this day. That's one of my favorite stories ever told, is him telling that story. It's just great stuff. They want a giant spider in the third act. Let's go back to one. No flying for Superman. I mean, that's great stuff. But man, I honestly think he lost his mind. I think after he started smoking pot, he just fucking fried his own brain. And unfortunately, the resulting product is movies like Tusk, which again features Justin Long being turned into a fucking walrus. Tusk was so silly, and silly in a bad way. Like, okay, if you think this was funny, like the idea, the concept, which obviously they did, they thought it was funny, they were stoned. Make it like a comedy. Like, why was it not just a straight up, this is stupid, like do like all cliched horror tropes and then it's as funny? No, like it's pretty much taking itself seriously from start to finish with a couple of jabs and of humor in there that just weren't funny, didn't land. And what you get is a result of a mess, man. I am the A-man. Yeah, I am the man. I am the walrus. Yes. Yeah. I really tried to watch this half an hour and I left. Okay, nice. You left the theater. Miss C watched this fucking movie for half an hour. She didn't even get to the part where they turned his ass into a walrus. I'm the Eggman. Woo. They are the Eggmen. I am the walrus. Yeah, here we go. Kevin Smith completely fell off the fucking deep end. Yeah, and this was really, I know Cop Out, he blamed Bruce Willis for being hard to work with. They also hired a different writer where you have Kevin Smith. Why wouldn't you have Kevin Smith write that? Like, Cop Out was terrible. Don't get me wrong. It's one of the worst comedies out there. But this was really the true, like, there's no coming back. Like, there's no U-turning. There's no rebounding. Your crew's dead. Like, it's just dead. The Kilroy, he made an NFT movie that I will never bother to see, which is like an anthology horror movie that has never seen the light of day because it's obviously you have to buy an NFT to fucking watch it. No, I'm good. You keep your fucking pudgy penguins to your fucking self. It has its moments, but there are few and far between. Such a depressing ending to the poor guy. Yeah, in a movie with this ridiculous of a concept, it is a depressing ending. Like what the heck, man? Just bizarre. Just truly bizarre. Anything Amityville is perfect. Yeah, exactly. That's why you won't see many of the Amityville movies on here. It's like they embrace it. They are embracing the bad. Whereas these movies tried ideas that just were horrible on paper. Horrible. Just there's no redeeming quality. There's no glass half full. It's just terrible. Hola Grande, hola everyone. Texas THC 1965 in the Heezy. Welcome, my friend. Haha, yeah, Johnny Depp was terrible in this. Yes, he was. We got Ben Grimm mentioning the NFT. Kevin Smith, Kilroy was here. I didn't hate it. Well, I'm sure I would. I'm sure fucking to Christ I would, man. James Cameron should have directed Tusk. Oh, God. I always wish they had never made Tusk for me. No theater watch. Thank God. Bad enough watching on TV. Okay, at least you didn't send your hard-earned money. But unfortunately, Tusk, yeah, that's one of the 8 movies that we've picked here. So Tusk is going to be removed from the wheel, and now we're down to 7. So let's spin this son of a bitch. Oh no, this is just terrible. The wheel of torture is torturing me. And all right, it looks like it's Stay Alive. Oh my God. Okay, let's go over here to a brief plot synopsis, if you will. Oh boy. Stay alive. For a group of teens, the answer to the mysterious death of their old friend lies within the world of an online video game based on the true story of an ancient nobleman known as the Blood Countess. Elizabeth Bathory, for those keeping score at home, this is Stay Alive. Wow. Wow. I watched this on Monday night and nearly ripped the hair out of my head, so I don't know. Okay. This was the idea, somebody in a boardroom, let's make a horror movie that's based on a cursed video game. Yeah, let's fucking do it. Just like Resident Evil or Fatal Frame or any of these horror survival games, we can make a movie out of it. What if we made our own, and instead of a game that's trying to feel like a creepy horror movie, we'll make a horror movie that tries to feel like a creepy game. Whoa. Horrible idea. First and foremost, the number one sin where you went wrong is video games and movies don't generally mix. Now, it's not the case for everything. However, look through history. Look at the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993. Do we have to keep going? Look at Street Fighter from 1994. Look at fucking the Resident Evil series. Granted, the first one is passable, but the rest of them are pretty much all universally considered shit or lack thereof. I mean, video game movies don't generally work, in my opinion. There are maybe on one hand ones that are decent, but this movie is just truly horrible. And of course, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, oh, we know our shit about video games. We know Resident Evil. We know Fatal Frame. We're going to reference these things to try to be like Scream, like hip, like a neo slasher, but integrate the world of video game and technology and all this stuff. And then, of course, an old ancient tale of Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess, who, of course, curses this game somehow. How? I don't know. I still don't understand. Now, there is a huge backstory with this movie, so we'll get into that. If you don't know, this is actually the one and only Disney slasher movie. I am not mistaken. I am not kidding you. This is a Disney slasher film. Disney bought the rights to this script and wanted to release it under the New World title. I think New World Pictures title. That's what they wanted to release it under. And they were like, hey, you know what? We'll try to get into the horror business. We'll try to make a hit movie. We'll try to do what Scream did for horror, but with video games and neo-slashing and technology. And we'll get all the young crowd in it. And of course, Disney being the fucking stupid global conglomerate that they are, they decided to fuck with everything. The movie was originally 100 minutes. It was very R-rated. Disney swoops in, cuts 15 minutes out of the film. 15 minutes out of the fucking movie. Cut it down to 85 minutes. Cut it to PG-13. You cut all the gore out of it. You cut all the fucking balls out of it. You cut all the cursing and the drug use out of it. And you cut 2 fucking characters out of the movie. So Disney just completely chopped this movie's balls off. And then decided we'll release it and we'll hire William Brent Bell to direct it, who is notoriously horrendous filmmaker. Do you ever see The Devil Inside? Have you ever seen fucking The Boy? Yeah, he's the man that directed those 2 pieces of shit. And this one, yeah, after this, I don't know why they let him direct another movie, but here it is. Stay Alive was his directorial debut, and it is a piece of monkey shit. Of course, it does have a Malcolm in the Middle I guess show being filmed. Frankie Muniz is in it, which is bizarre to see Frankie Muniz in the film. You have, again, mostly a forgettable cast other than him. You have John Foster as our lead as Hutch. You have Sophia Bush as a character named October. Jimmy Simpson as Phineas, who's like the stoner funny dude. It's just so bad. This is just such a horrible idea. And the premise is these dumbass people playing a PS2 game, and they try to integrate it into like a Nightmare on Elm Street. If you die in the game, you die in real life. Oh my God. And the game starts off where you have to read a poem that comes on the screen and thus curses you. And you can't play the game unless you read the poem on the screen, which for a PS2 game, obviously that was not, there was never a PS2 game where you had to speak to the television in order to fucking play it. So right off the bat, they're wrong. They have tons of video game references that they try to seem hip with, but they clearly don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Oh, well, how do I use the blaster weapon in Resident Evil 4? Oh, well, you do this, this, and this. Oh, yeah, you fucking full of shit. That's in Resident Evil 1, you dumb bastards. Like, they completely didn't know their shit. And to me, if you're trying to be hip, if you're trying to be gaining the young crowd that knows and loves and lives on this shit, you've got to know your fucking P's and Q's as well. And they did not. They didn't know anything. They just said, fuck it, let's do this, you know? And I don't doubt that Disney fucked with whatever the movie could have been. And I know there is the 100-minute cut that is out there. You can watch the movie unrated. I've seen both cuts. They both suck. It's there's no doubt. I mean, granted, if you're going to watch one of the two, watch the one with gore, you know? I mean, I guess at least you have that. But then again, you have to suffer this movie for another 15 minutes. So I don't know. Maybe it's a give and take. Maybe you just watch the 85 minutes and run away. I don't know. But basically, the characters in this, they play this fucking stupid game. And if they die in the game, it starts to mirror the ways they die in real life. And it's just really, really a limp effort. There's no scares. There's no tension. There's not any good characters. There's no good story. The legend, the urban legend itself is just so blah. And depending on which cut you watch, they cut a lot of the backstory out of it in the theatrical 85-minute cut. Like they cut this backstory character out and they cut the game developer, because you're sitting here wondering, who the hell developed this game? If you're watching it in the theater, they never answer that question. They would have you think that the Countess from hundreds and hundreds of years ago conjured up a fucking PS2 game to get a wide release. That's what they'd have you know. And then in, of course, the uncut version, there was a game developer that I had no idea. I don't know shit. I only made the game, and he dies off screen. That's all you miss in the uncut. Oh God, this is just horrible. You're just. I get what you were going for, but you were barking up the wrong tree. Really, like. I don't mind horror video games. There are some good ones. I like Alien Isolation. I've been playing it lately. I really like Alien Isolation. That's a fun, really good survival first-person horror movie game. Love it. I really like it gets dicey with some of the Resident Evil games. I would say Resident Evil 4 is my favorite of the Resident Evil games. Granted, I'm not as hardcore Resident Evil as maybe most would be. I love the Dead Rising games, obviously, because I'm a diehard Dawn of the Dead fan. You get to kill zombies in them all. I mean, what better than that? For 3 days, you could just party around and kill zombies in all these creative ways. I love Dead Rising. There's the, you know, of course, I remember the Ju-On game for the Nintendo Wii. I bet people don't remember that. There was Saw, the video game, which was actually terrible fucking game. There's tons of them, but I don't think for this particular movie that it worked. I don't think this was a good idea to make into a film where, oh, we'll try to make it like Elm Street. We'll pick off these characters one by one. The death scenes in this movie are hysterically bad. Like, you have one of the people, he's a cop. He's like, whoa, what's the game? And they're like, oh, well, you know, we think it's correlating to how these people die. Oh, I want to play it. What? The guy sits down, plays the game for 2 seconds, gets killed with like a saw device. And yeah, his character gets killed off screen with a saw device. Wow. One guy, oh, I didn't really die in the game. I should be fine. He's just walking out in the middle of the fucking road and gets run over by a fucking woman in a carriage, the Blood Countess. That's one of the deaths. One woman is just out for a smoke, randomly just walks into somebody's fucking house that is under construction, and she gets fucking killed by this lady. Like, and it's a CGI, like they try to make it look like a video game villain. It's terrible. We don't see enough of the game itself. We don't get enough of that. It's just a fucking horrible movie. It really is. This is a terrible movie and an even worse idea. Like, I get where you're going, but you're barking up the wrong fucking tree, man. And unfortunately, this movie was the result that we get. Staying Alive. Yeah, somebody play the Bee Gees up in this motherfucker. Realizing I like all the movies that will be talked about tonight. Well, yeah, I don't like a single one of them. So even thought it is not a horror movie, but the original Jumanji has many dark moments. Jumanji is a more effective horror movie than this. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I actually think some of the shit in Jumanji is scary. Like the shit with when the plants at the end and it shoots Kirsten Dunst in the neck with like a poison sparb. That I always was fucking terrified. I was like, holy shit, that is nuts. And the giant yellow flower. And the scene where the practical lion kind of chases them, I always thought that was good. Now, some of the CG in that movie did not age well, like the stampede and the monkeys and shit like that. But I generally think Jumanji's a scarier film than this. Like when the kid gets sucked into the game and the bats, the practical bats. I thought that stuff worked. But here, one of the jump scares in Stay Alive is one of the characters gets a knock on the door and he looks through his peephole. And it's Frankie Muniz because he's so short, he doesn't see him. And he goes, "Oh, hi." And they fucking do like a musical boom, like, "Hi." And I'm like, God damn it, that's a jump scare in your film? Is Frankie Muniz just going, "Hi"? Like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God, man. I can't. I just can't. This is, oh my God. Make you want to fucking scream. I almost watched it. I'm glad I didn't dodge the bullet. Yes, you did. You absolutely dodged a bullet. There's no positivity to be had here. I don't understand at all. Like, I get it. I think they could have had a big franchise on their hands had they had maybe the right guy, had they had a better script, had they had all these other things, but they just didn't. And then, of course, Disney meddling into it only drowned it even deeper. And, of course, this movie was a big bomb when it came out. But now, out of nowhere now, it's becoming a cult classic. Like, people tell me it's a cult classic. So I don't fucking get that. I think it's insane if you think this is a cult classic. But to each their own. No problem if you like it. I like the first Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat! I like the first one. The Annihilation was terrible, and I thought the new one was terrible. I don't know. I like the first Mortal Kombat movie. That's about it. And then as far as the Mortal Kombat games go, I really like Mortal Kombat 9, and I like Mortal Kombat 2. I think those are the best Mortal Kombat games. Stay Alive failed to follow up to its original movie, Saturday Night Fever. Yeah, no, for real. Staying Alive, directed by Sylvester Stallone, starring John Travolta, is a better movie than Stay Alive from 2006. Didn't he direct the Orphan prequel? He fucking did! Thank you. I didn't get through 20 minutes of the Orphan prequel before I had a panic attack. The scene where she escapes that asylum, I had a panic attack and turned it off. I was like completely fucking freaked out and was like, no, not doing it. No, fucking horse shit. Nope. And she looks fucking 30 years older, but oh no, she's 8. Feel the city breaking, everybody. Feel the city breaking and everybody shaking and we're staying alive. Disney buried this film. I mean, no matter which cut you watch, though, it's bad. Like, it's not like the 100-minute cut is this, oh my God, it's sad, wow, you know. But at least, I will say this, at least they did something smarter than what we talked about last week in Cabin Fever 2. They gave you the option. You had the unrated or the rated. You know, and I mean, even the way this movie ends, where they break the curse and Elizabeth Bathory is rested in peace, and then they end it where the game is getting a wide release all over the world, and everyone's gonna die by the curse of this game, even though they already broke the curse. How did she come back? What? Like, it's truly, you'll hear this a lot in the community. This statement, it makes no sense. This movie, if you watch the theatrical cut, it makes no sense. There's really shit they cut out of it that hurts the movie to the point where it doesn't make any sense, even from a non-illogical standpoint. It's just fucking shit. So bad, watched actually this year for fun, and it's unwatchable even for me. Bart, do you mean to tell me that this movie is not amazing? Are you serious? I know there's one on this fucking wheel that you do think is amazing, so I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on that. If Mercy doesn't like it, I know I would hate it. Wow. All right, Miss C, shots fired. In the 1970s, there were 2 animated movies based on the story by Rudyard Kipling that were very dark. The White Seal and Riki Tiki Tavi. Okay. My game is to kill is Manhunt. Dude, the cover of that game alone always scared the shit out of me. That's a great video game cover. Great pick. Kal-El Daily checks in. What's going on, Kal-El? People saying hi to Kal-El. Mortal Kombat Legacy movies are good. Mortal Kombat kicks ass. I love Mortal Kombat's awesome. The first Mortal Kombat's awesome. Is good, bad, though? I don't know. Mortal Kombat 2 was just fucking bad to me. But Stay Alive is a piece of shit. And I will say this, guys. This is not going to be as much reviews as it is just talking about why these movies are fucking straight up bad. You know, because obviously we reviewed 8 movies. We'll be here all night. But in this format, why they were bad and dump them after that, after the wheel of torture. So stay alive, stay away from stay alive, my friends. And now we're going to try to be brave, and we're going to spin the wheel. We're going to make a fucking deal right now. The wheel of torture selects. Oh, no, not Dario. Oh, shit. All right. The card player. Yes, the card player from 2004. A rogue policewoman teams up with a British Interpol agent to find a crafty serial killer who plays a taunting game of cat and mouse with the police by abducting and killing young women and showing it over an internet webcam. That's not the whole story. That's not the whole plot synopsis, if you really have seen this movie. Basically what this is, Dario saying, let's make a Giallo where the killer abducts women and we'll force the police to play a game to save their lives. And what game? Poker. Video online poker. That's what they do. And they have these fucking people at the police station, keep the 2 kings and then deal 3 more cards. They have these idiot cops sitting in a fucking police station playing poker to try to save the lives of these people. And that's the fucking movie. It's 2 hours. It's 2 fucking hours of this shit, man. It's insane. And then the police decide they're going to bring in a guy that's really good at video poker. They find this guy who goes to random pubs and casinos, and they're like, "You're really good at video poker. Come on in." And he's like, "Why?" He's like, "Oh, well, we could really use your help with the investigation." He's like, "What?" And he sits down and plays video poker for them, and that's it. That's the fucking movie. As people get killed on a webcam in kind of these brutal ways, where they'll have their fingers chopped off and they'll be cut in all these ways. It's generally women. They're gagged. They're tied to a chair. You see them through a webcam. This was Dario trying to come into the 21st century, trying to make something that was relevant at the time. And I guess video poker was what came to mind. And basically what you get is a fucking bad episode of fucking CSI. That's basically what this is a fucking terrible episode of CSI directed by the maestro. So if you're curious to see what would a CSI episode directed by Dario Argento look like, you really look no further than The Card Player. I mean, there's really nowhere else to look than this movie. The lead woman, it's worth noting, was supposed to be played by Asia Argento. Instead, they get Stefania Rocca, who's not a bad actress, but man, I would have fired my agent after putting me in this movie. Granted, you hear, Argento movie, when do I sign? Oh, this is the movie made after Sleepless. Oh my God, my career is going to go all these sorts of places. They initially were going to bring back, of course, Asia Argento, and she was going to reprise her role as Anna Manny from the Stendhal Syndrome. And this was going to be the sequel to the Stendhal Syndrome. And then, of course, she was filming, I think, Triple X in the US, and she couldn't film this movie. And it had a huge falling out between her and her father for a while, as far as I know. I believe she did discuss it briefly in that documentary about, I think it was El Panico, about Argento's career. She couldn't do this movie. So instead, we get Stefania Rocca, who's fine, but just the least of the problems in this movie. I mean, the finale of this movie involves the lead woman being handcuffed to train tracks with the killer as they play video poker against each other. I'm not kidding you. They play video poker against each other. And the guy gets a straight flush and she gets a royal flush to beat him. And then fucking knocks him out and he gets run over by a train. And that's what it is horribly bad, but it is funny in a way to me. It's hysterical at how stupid this is. I personally get a kick out of it, but there's no denying that it was a terrible idea for a Giallo. Generally, Giallos, their motive is one of the more interesting parts. You look at Dario's other movies, Bird with Crystal Plumage, what was the killer's motivation? Oh, well, she was a abuse/molestation victim, and she saw this painting that triggered a memory, and instead of siding with the victim, this time she sided with the person doing the abusing, and thus became a killer. And her husband loved her so much, he tried to take the fall and cover it up. That's so interesting. That's so multi-layered. This is a fucking guy that works at the police. Spoiler. The killer works at the police station and wants the attention of the lead cop. He wants to fuck her. So goes to all of these lengths to tie up and fucking gag tie women to chairs and challenge the cops to a game of Texas fucking Hold'em. I cannot. It's, oh my God, it's so bad. I can't even. This is just such a bad idea. Like, what the fuck was Dario on? I don't know, man. Let's check back with the comments. Sonic movies have been really fun. I love both the Sonic movies. I thought they were both excellent. I'm excited for part 3. I was devastated that they didn't get Hayden Christensen to play Shadow. Instead, it's going to be Keanu Reeves, which is fine. But, oh, man, the memes that they would have had if Hayden Christensen played Shadow would have been the best memes of all time. Like Shadow the Hedgehog bitching about sand and its coarse and it gets everywhere. Like, oh my God, don't make me kill it. I have the high ground. You underestimate my powers, Sonic. Like, oh shit, that they ruined. Oh my God, the internet that would have been the greatest thing ever if they just got Hayden like they had rumored. This movie sounds like a modern Western. Really? In what way? This is a fucking horrible movie. So in Italy, every other day, trains are late because there are people playing online poker on the railways. What a bad movie. Only good thing Aja's not in it. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Yeah, no, I knew Mateo would be like, yeah, at least they got that right. I will say this. There is a good thing in this movie. The cinematography in this movie is amazing. Like, I'll say, it's amazing. The Blu-ray that Scorpion, I think it's Scorpion releasing did. This movie looks amazing on Blu-ray. It really does. And the cinematography shots are fantastic. But that's about it. That really is where the positives end. I do find pleasure in it in a guilty way, but it is not a good movie. It's one of the last Argentos you should reach for. Hanging to the train track sounds like something out of those old silent movies. Yeah, but imagine, Slasher Fred, imagine if those people in the old silent movies had a laptop and could play video poker. I mean, come on. Like, what were we missing out then, man? The 1920s don't have shit compared to movies where you're tied on the train tracks, challenge one another to a game of fucking poker. What's good, John? Ant-Man525 is in the house. Welcome, my friend. Speaking of Sonic the Hedgehog, we've got his reincarnation here. Call this a Giallo, John. Almost make Mario Baba roll in his grave. That's true. I mean, I think it's a Giallo. Would you consider it like something more on the slashers? I think it's sort of a Giallo. It's like Giallo meets a bad CSI episode with poker. Like, and I don't know if people know this about me. I love Texas Hold'em. I'm a huge card. I love playing cards. Love it. But so when I heard about that, I'm like, huh. Like, I mean, it sounds like a horrible idea, but what, I mean, I'm interested. What is it? Is it people getting killed off in a card game? Like, maybe you could have made this work if it was like you sit down, you have 9 people, and if you get eliminated, you get killed, something like that. I don't know. Granted, I still think that sounds pretty stupid. So I don't know. Maybe it just was not meant to be. If you ever have that movie called Frequency, which stars Dennis Quaid, in which the main character contacts his father in the past through his head. Oh, man, that's a great movie. Frequency is one of the more underrated movies you'll ever see. It's really, really good. I'm still betting that the movie is going to be memed to hell. I wonder if Shadow is going to have a gun. Oh my God, like the Shadow the Hedgehog video game. Speaking of video games, yeah, that's a terrible video game. Just as bad, if not worse, than Sonic 06. It is a Giallo, like Stage Fright is a Giallo, but I wish it wasn't. Yeah, okay, that's actually a great way to put it. So yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I wish it wasn't either, Mateo, but the card player. Oh boy, yeah, it's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb. When I say pretty dumb, it's pretty bad. But it's time, ladies and gents. Spin the wheel. Let's make a deal. The wheel of torture selects. Oh no, this one. Oh boy, the Gallows. Brief plot synopsis of the fucking Gallows. 20 years after a horrific accident during a small town school play, students at the school resurrect the failed show in a misguided attempt to honor the anniversary of the tragedy, but soon discover that some things are better left alone. Yeah. The Gallows. I saw this piece of shit in the theater, actually. I remember it came out in like middle of July. It was made on a budget of like $100,000 by two hacks that made one sequel to it, which is even worse than the first Gallows. But I feel like when it comes to terrible ideas, this is up there. I mean, this is a terrible idea for a movie. So basically, we got $100,000. We had a couple of nickels to rub together. What do? They decide, let's make a movie about a play that years and years ago in 1993, this kid named, I think it was Charlie. I think the killer's name is Charlie. They were doing this school play, and there's a scene where the kid's supposed to be fake hanged. Something goes wrong, and the kid gets hanged. Wow, he dies. He snaps his neck, he suffocates, he dies on the stage in the beginning of the movie. And we cut back to almost 20 years later. It's like 18 years later. And now all of a sudden, the school wants to do the same play again. Right off the bat, from a logical standpoint, no school would ever, if it was 100 years ago, would never do a play again in which one of the last times you did it, somebody died during a fucking scene of it. There's no way any school board ever in the world would fucking greenlight, yeah, fucking do the Gallows play again. Instead, movie logic, horror movie logic, bad horror movie logic, worst horror movie ideas movie logic. Fuck it, do the play, greenlight the play. What they do is they try to combine that with a sort of slashing element, because basically the setup is we're following this idiot on a shot on video who's a fucking asshole running around this school picking on people for about 30 minutes. Then, let's break into the fucking school overnight and we'll destroy the play. And so 4 of them, they break into the fucking school overnight. They want to destroy the fucking sets so they can't go on with the play for some reason. And then one by one, they're picked off by Charlie, the killer that died 18 years ago. His ghost is picking them off one by one. Horrible. I mean, okay, if it wasn't shot on video, maybe something like that could have worked. And the whole, I died during the school play, that should have been written out. But I just think this is a terrible idea overall. Like, okay, we understand you have a low budget, but for a low budget movie, this is a terrible setup. What kids would care? What high school kids would generally care to go in and destroy a fucking play? And one of them is, I'm trying to impress one of the girls that has a big part in the play. I'm really trying to impress her. So I'm going to break into the school with her and destroy the play in front of her. That'll really impress her. Like, what? Like, the whole shot on video aspect is just completely thrown out the window because they have night vision shots. They have this shot, which I could show here on the poster, where it's like red vision, and the killer kind of goes up and strangles this girl, hangs this girl with his bare hands. What? Like, what a weird, like, I don't know. I think from a style standpoint, this was a bad idea. Why was it shot on video? Other than we had no fucking money, the whole shot on video thing falls apart. Like, shot on video can be done so well if you have the right concept for it, the right setting. Like, Wreck is a great shot on video horror movie. The Blair Witch Project, I know a lot of people hate it, but it's a good idea to take a bunch of kids into the woods and they get lost, they get scared, they start seeing things, they start turning on each other. I think that's a good idea. We're breaking into a school to destroy the set of a play, and this guy's killing us off one by one. We have one camera, and that's basically it. And the guy with the camera is the first to go. So I forget. I've not watched this movie in a while. I forget how they go about the camera following them the rest of the way after they kill the fucking cameraman. I honestly forget. I don't know. They have a horrible twist ending at the end where the fucking the girl he's interested in is the daughter of this fucking ghost guy, and like the mother. It was all a setup, like, to kill these fucking kids. Why? I have no idea. Like, it's just bizarre. Where it's like, dude, like, this kid died. He was like 15. He impregnated somebody. Nobody found out about it. And somehow 18 years later, his kid is not in fucking college. It's fucking, she was in fucking, logically, just one of the stupidest films. It really is. I mean, just a horrible fucking idea for a movie that just, I don't know, did not work. Didn't work in the scare department. It made a boatload of money, if I'm not mistaken, though. On a $100,000 budget. This was dropped in July, like summer blockbuster time. July 10th. Grossed just under $43 million. And they did greenlight a sequel that was even worse. I did see the sequel, which is shot normally, like a normal movie. And it is even worse than this movie. It's Terrible. It really, really is a horrible idea, a horrible film. The two directors, I know they made one other movie aside from this and the sequel. I will never see it. These guys are not filmmakers. You're really hacks. I mean, I hate to use that word about people that try to go out and make a film, but you're hacks. Like this is so like, oh my God, this will draw. Like the studio smelled money in this and just tried to trick people. And people came, man. 43 million almost is not nothing to scoff at, considering when it was released in like mid-July. That's nuts. That's really good money, considering the summer blockbuster, timing of it. And I was tricked into it too. I saw it opening night in the theater. I remember going with a bunch of people and we were like, fuck, man. Like we walked out like pissed, and unfortunately, yeah, this is the Gallows. A really terrible idea for a movie. Are you referring to the 80s movie, Mateo, or the 1950s Alfred Hitchcock movie? He's referring to the 80s one. The plot sounds like something out of the original My Bloody Valentine. That's a lot better movie than this. I mean, unless it was a normal incident, maybe they try to do it again, but this is not normal. I decline immediately. Dude, the kid got hung. No fucking school bird would ever be like, yeah, we'll try it again. Why not? Like, no, it wouldn't work that way. Yeah, never saw it. Looked awful. It is pretty awful. It really is. It's just they made a sequel. They did make the Gallows Act 2, which is just as bad. What the fuck? 100,000 to 43 million. What? Dude, that's sometimes, man. And that's the thing. Another thing that bothers me about it. You took something that was made for nothing and you made a lot of money. You milked this son of a bitch till it was dry. And that's crazy to me. The sequel didn't go to theaters. The sequel didn't make any money. So most people did not like this movie that saw it. I believe it gets, what does it get on IMDb? A 4.2 it gets on IMDb. So that's, pretty telling of the movie that you get. If you don't believe me, it's a 4.2 on IMDb. So most people do not like the Gallows, and I'm not one of them. I saw the sequel. Don't ask me why. My dad made better homemade family Christmas videos, I swear. I believe you. I would not doubt that for a second. The Gallows Act 2 is in like my top 20 worst movies ever made. It's up there. It's really, really bad. Kathy Lee Gifford's daughter is in it, has probably never acted again. Yeah, no, I did not know that, honestly. But yeah, this was just a bad idea, honestly. What a dumb idea. But again, here's something that we could bring up before we spin the wheel again. I know there'll probably be people that tune out of this. There'll probably be people in the comments later, or probably be people that right now maybe watching this holding themselves back from saying this. Who are you, Grande, to constitute that this is a bad idea if on a budget of just a measly six figures, then the lowest six-figure budget at that, $100,000, to make seven-figure big money, I'm talking 43 million, didn't make no 7 million, it made $43 million domestically. I mean, who am I to say? I totally think that's a fair argument here tonight in Grande's Grave. And if you feel that way, by all means. Some of the movies we talked about tonight, Stay Alive was not a big hit. We talked about fucking The Card Player. That did not get a wide distributed fucking release at all. Tusk, I believe, made like 5 million to 6 million. I don't think it maybe broke even. But this was a big hit. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like commercial hit. So I'm sure people will probably be like, well, what is your, how is it a bad idea if you make that much of a profit? And my answer is maybe you're right. But from a quality standpoint, you can't tell me this is quality film. You can't. I know Ben Grimm was saying he likes all these movies I'm talking about here tonight. I would be surprised. I don't know if you're still in the house, Ben, but what do you like about the Gallows? I'm just out of curiosity. Nobody's here to make fun of you or anything. I'm just curious. What would you say is good about this movie? Because I think from a quality standpoint, this is a terrible film. It made quantity. There's no doubt. And people, there's a couple other movies on this list that did make money. So there is that argument. I just wanted to play devil's advocate even against myself and say, hey, I understand if someone says, hey, well, it made a fuck ton of money on a low budget, so I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I think it's a good idea. Totally fair, totally understandable if you feel that way. I just didn't want to, cut people out if they were thinking that. Did the Gallows 2 even get a theatrical release? It, from what I understand, went straight to streaming. But any kind of movie can get like a one night in the theater. Like if it depends on the distribution. I'm sure with all the money they made, somebody screened it one night in a theater. I would think it played in like 5 theaters for one night, maybe. I doubt it. Yeah, no, it was Pretty rough movie. But with that said, let's remove it from the wheel. We're halfway through. We're doing okay so far. We're not to the one I hate the most, but I feel like I'm going to jinx it now that I said that. Let's do it. Let's spin it. Let's make the wheel of torture do something. And, oh, Mernsy, where are you, Mernsy? Where are you, Mernsy? Here we go. Species 2. Yes, Species 2. The most sexy alien in the world is back. That's the tagline. Brief plot synopsis. An astronaut gets infected with alien DNA during the first mission on Mars and runs amok on Earth. Preston and Laura team up with a peaceful, genetically re-engineered Syl to track the monster down. That's bullshit. That is bullshit of what goes on in this movie, especially the second part of that plot synopsis. I'll start off by saying this. I like the first Species. I think it's a fine science fiction horror movie. When the effects are practical, they're quite good. The design of the alien creature by H.R. Geiger is not just a xenomorph copy. It actually looks quite good. I like the design of the alien. Natasha Henstridge, it's the movie that put her on the map. It's the movie that everyone remembers Natasha Henstridge from, even though I know when she first saw it, she hated the movie and wanted to distance herself from it and then realized, well, this is basically what I'm going to be known as forever. I might as well fucking embrace it. Is what it is. Had a great, I would say, an all-star cast. Alfred Molina, Forrest Whitaker, Ben Kingsley, Michael Madsen. Fucking so many good, talented actors in the first movie. Really, really good actors. It's directed competently. It's scary when it needs to be. We're following a very good antagonist who is not of this earth, literally, but oh my God, has all the fucking things that any male that is straight on earth would ever want in a woman. A beautiful lady is Natasha Henstridge, and she's pretty much naked the entire way for the first Species movie. Really like the first Species. Have a good time with it. It's a fun B sci-fi horror movie. And then they made this piece of shit, which I hate this movie. Like with a burning passion, hate Species 2. Like, what a piece of shit. First off, they bring in Peter Medak, who directed George C. Scott in The Changeling. One of the best haunted house, spooky, spooktacular movies that there's ever been. And he makes this movie. I mean, bizarre. I don't think the direction is the problem. And I also see someone mention the practical effects. Mernzies mentioned the practical effects. Those return, and they're as good, if not better, the practical effects. Granted, the CG in this is fucking terrible. But the practical effects, when they are here, are great, are phenomenal. I'll be honest. The rest of the movie, though, is offensively bad. So, first of all, look at this fucking poster. You want the first sign of bullshit is the poster. We got Natasha Henstridge, a hot red background in tight black leather. Can somebody take my fucking money? Please, I want to see that. We don't see Natasha Henstridge in this tight black leather in this movie. We hardly see Natasha Henstridge leave a glass room in this movie. And oh, the world's most sexiest alien is back. She's sitting in a fucking room for about 95% of this movie. She's sitting in a room. Oh, we have things. We're studying Syl. We're trying to telepathically translate the alien with Syl. You have Natasha Henstridge back. You paid her to come back to sit in a fucking chair. I could have done that. She's not even wearing the tight leather that you fucking promoted her in the poster of wearing. And instead of following a hot, sexy, seductive female alien with giant yit's ass in a tight leather outfit with a fucking red background, instead we follow Justin Lazard, who is the most boring fucking protagonist / antagonist I've ever seen in a movie. Oh, well, he was infected on his trip to Mars, and he was told for 10 days to keep his fucking dick in his fucking pants. The guy, the day he gets back, starts fucking these two random ladies that he met at a party, and the guy's engaged to be married. Right off, you're a piece of shit for cheating on your wife with these two hoe sisters. And instead of, oh, Syl is trying to get pregnant the whole movie, about 20 minutes in, he gets these ladies pregnant, and they have the accelerated pregnancy and burst and die. And we get the idea, they never really say this clearly, Is this Justin Lazard character, is he fucking like in control? Can he think for himself? Or is the alien taken over? I never considered, like, I think it's a mess because there's a point in the movie where he blows his head off because he's realized, oh, I fucked my wife and she fucking died of this. Oh, I'm going to blow my head off because I can't live with the fact that I murdered my wife. Buddy, you cheated on your wife with 2 fucking whores. Killed them, thought nothing of it, went home and fucked your wife, and then blew your head off. Buddy, you should have blown your head off before you even got to the fucking space station and the fucking NASA and putting on the fucking spacesuit. You should have shot yourself before you even got there. Let's be feminist. Let's be fucking factual. What a horrible idea to want to follow. And I'm sorry, if you're attracted to men, I'm sorry in advance. I'm sorry. What a horrible idea. Why would you want to follow a boring, charismaless? The guy has the personality of a bump on a pickle for the entire fucking movie. We're following, this is our antagonist. Where's the intrigue there? It's just boring. It doesn't work. Oh, it's a guy this time. Fuck your mother. Fuck you. I don't give a shit that it's a guy. He's fucking boring. It's not Natasha Henstridge. And you brought her back. It's not like, oh, we tried to get Natasha, but she was doing bigger and better things. You know, we just decided, let's make it a male this time. I would have understood that. I don't understand why you'd bring her back, why you'd put her on the poster, and she's barely in the fucking movie. And these are just minimal problems. I mean, there are so many problems to be had with this movie. You're thinking, okay, so he fucks these women. They have accelerated pregnancies. They burst. Great practical effect when they burst. Actually, pretty horrifying stuff. I've told Mernsey, it kind of scared the shit out of me when I first saw it. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so he's maybe raising this brood of alien children. Maybe there's going to be a big fight at the finale of this guy's brood versus these, you know, Michael Madsen, Mark Helgenberger, whatever the fuck her name is. You know, maybe we'll do that. You know? No. The brood, all of his fucking children, don't do shit. He hides them in a fucking shed. The entire movie. Hides them in a shed. Like, what the fuck? And then basically, after he blows his head off, you give the idea that the alien is in full control, and he just starts fucking prostitutes, fucking trying to rape women in supermarkets, fucking terrible. Until the end where Syl and this guy meet, they both turn into aliens and try to mate, and he chokes her out with his alien fucking cock. I'm not kidding you right now. That's what happens in this movie. We finally get to the Natasha Henstridge. All right, sex scene with Natasha Henstridge. She's a fucking. They turn her into a fucking H.R. Geiger alien in it. We don't even see Natasha Henstridge barely. Oh my God! What a terrible idea! What a terrible idea! The first one was fine. Why did this need a sequel? What the fuck? And we're gonna follow a fucking man, a boring man. Terrible idea. Terrible movie. Fuck this shit. Let's see. Fuck yeah, Mernsey says. Okay. Species 2 fire. Really? Okay, so for fucking Hearst Hill likes Species 2 too. So maybe, all right, we got 2 Species 2 fans in the house. Let's hear it, Mernsey. Species 2 is awesome. I'm gonna have to use your catchphrase word, Mernsey, if it's okay. Species 2 is amazing. The practical effects and the gore is top notch. Dramatic dots. The writing absolutely terrible, but it's a fun ass film. Mernsey, I don't know. I found this movie infuriatingly bad. And like, to come from a guy like Peter Medak, who I like and think did really good things with not only The Changeling, but even the Tales from the Crypt episode I did reviewed from him a couple weeks ago. A capable guy. What happened here? I mean, there's no tension to be found in this movie. I want the 4K LMAO. I really do. Oh my God. I know your birthday is a little bit away, but holy shit. I'll hook you up. I'll get you the 4K of Species 2 for your birthday. Hold out on that one. I bet you do. Yeah. No, I'm sure Mernsey's going to pre-order that shit. But if not, I got you. I'll fucking epic. Is this the rant epic or the movie? Do you like the movie? If that's the case, we have 3 fans of Species 2 in the house. Nothing say I love you like doing 2 whores. Yeah, exactly. He gets back. They tell him, "Oh, don't have any sexual activity for at least 10 days. We have to, examine your fucking DNA." He goes, "Okay." Next scene, he's making out with this lady, and then she's like, "Oh, do you want to meet my sister?" I'm like, dude, what No, real life doesn't work like that. This is not porn. Like, oh, you want to meet my hot fucking sister that looks nothing like me? Oh, yeah, you can fuck us both and come inside us. Why would we make you work? Like, what? Like, what? Goddamn, what planet? I guess that's the perfect question to ask in a species film. What planet do you live on? Where's that happen? I don't care if you're the most famous motherfucker from NASA. And the guy was engaged to his wife. Oh, I fucking accidentally, I killed her and fell asleep. Didn't notice that she bursted next to me. He wakes up and cries and, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to blow my head off. Buddy, you just cheated on her with two ladies, murdered them, and thought nothing of it. What? And now you want to blow your head off after you accidentally killed your wife? You obviously didn't give two shits about your wife. You came with two other ladies. What? Like, how many Species movie are there? 4? Yeah, 3 too many. Species 3 is 2 hours long. I'm not even kidding. Species 3 is 2 fucking hours. What the fuck? Yeah, 4. Mergy, do you like the 3rd and 4th one? I'm curious. Joe Mama. Yo, Joe Mama in the house. You have my attention at alien cock. All the shit I just said, alien cock with Missy. Yep, to Tubi I go. Missy is flying on a fucking magic carpet right now, or on a spaceship because it's Species. She's going on the spaceship to see the alien cock gag poor Natasha Henstridge to death. I know Natasha Henstridge has disowned the film. Michael Madsen has disowned the film. Almost everybody in the film has disowned the fucking film. So I don't know. But it seems like the chat likes the movie. So I don't know. LOL's Miss Carter. The cockhole. Dude, he fucks one sister, comes inside of her. She's like, oh, yeah, good. You go in now, sis. And then he no rest period. Just fuck, boom, boom, come inside her now. Like, dude, what world do you live in? Like, what? It's just so fucking stupid where I'm like, this doesn't really work for a guy. I think what worked about Species 1, maybe because I am the male demographic, again, okay, yeah, obviously I'm more interested in seeing Natasha Henstridge run around killing people. But just from a logical standpoint of just the way the real worlds are, I will say this about men in general, and I'm not saying every man, but in general, men are pigs. Men can be fucking pigs. And if Natasha Henstridge is running around and you're a single man, hell, if you're fucking engaged, you might be banging 2 uglier chicks. I don't know. But if you're a fucking man and Natasha Henstridge comes to you and says, I want to fuck you, I think every man that is straight would say, yeah, I really do. I don't think that's a stretch to say. I don't think women are as piggy as men. There are piggy women, there's no doubt. And there are, whatever abstinent men. But I think in general, this story worked for female going after fucking male trying to get impregnated to have her brood and attack, and eventually happens when Alfred Molina knocks her out. Just having it be a guy was so fucking bad. What a horrible idea. Like, oh my God, whoever made that call should have been given 3 to 5 years. This rant's epic. Oh, thank you. Number 3 and 4 are terrible, unwatchably bad, but I don't know. 2 is a fun ass flick. It's never boring. Fair enough. Mersey, fair enough, man. When we ever meet in person, maybe we'll have to sit down and you'll have to try to show me why this movie's good. But I really don't like this movie. I would gladly watch the first Species with you. Well said, Mersey. Okay, so hey, man, maybe I'm alone in this. Maybe you guys like fucking the alien brood being hidden in a shed and Natasha Henstridge choking on an alien cock and a man running around the entire movie killing people. I don't know. Maybe I'm in a minority. We got Sean in the house, Cinephile Sanity TV. What's up, guys? What's up, Sean? Hope all's well with you, buddy. You've missed some ranting here, buddy, because Species 2 is a piece of shit, and we are moving on from it now. And we only have 3 movies left on the wheel of torture. Oh my God. Let's just do it. I can't look. I'm just not gonna look. I'm not gonna look. Just not gonna look. You guys can tell me what it is. I have no idea. What is it? All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh, boy. All right. I was hoping this would come last because this is going to be a rant and a half in itself. But it's here. We're 2 rants in a row. Unfriended. Brief plot synopsis. A group of online chat room friends find themselves haunted by a mysterious supernatural force using the account of their dead friend. Once again, that's kind of a bullshit plot synopsis. That's not really what's happening here. I saw this movie also in a theater. See how these people that grew up in the 80s, they're like, oh yeah, no big deal. I saw fucking Return of the Living Dead in the theater. I saw I Spit in Your Grave in the theater. Buddy, you don't understand how lucky you are. Like, this is the shit that came out when I was in high school in the fucking theater. Was this monkey shit. Unfriended, which is the worst movie of these 8. It is in my top 10 worst movies of all time. There's no doubt this is in my bottom 10 movies ever. I really, and I will say this, it is number 1 in the most stupid film I've ever seen in my life. It is this, there's no film ever been made, in my opinion, that is more stupid than this fucking stupid shit. I mean, where to begin? I guess we'll begin with the concept, because this is basically what happened. This was a similar thing with the Gallows. We don't have a lot of money. We have $1 million. They had about $1 million. They came together, Blumhouse, we'll put $1 million together. We'll get a fucking bullshit writer. What if we used this new wave of technology and made a horror movie out of it? What if a bunch of dumbass teens that are in high school together got on a Skype call and couldn't hang up because it was haunted by one of their classmates that fucking killed themselves? And one by one, they were picked off in the worst way in cinema's history. There's no worse death scenes than the death scenes in this movie. I dare you to pick a fucking horror movie with worse death scenes than Unfriended. I dare you. I fucking double dog dare you to find one worse. I really do. They promoted it with the whole, this is hip. This is technology, Skype, Google Hangouts. We're going to be typing with each other. We're going to be doing screen shares in the movie. We're really going to convert with the whole keeping up with the times. This is the horror movie that could only be made in this fucking generation. That was the idea. We're going to shoot it in one shot. Wow, that was also a big way it was promoted. We're going to shoot this in one shot. You lied to us. You fucking lied. Basically, what they did was they would have each actor in one house. This is how much money they're $1 million. This is what they did. They had each one of these assholes sit in the same house, but in a different room. So all the actors in this movie are in the same house, just in different rooms. And they fucking had them go the entire way, just give their parts of the script in front of the camera. And, it's in one shot. We're really great. Isn't this impressive? Wow, we did the whole movie in one take. Aren't we cool? Wow, did you see Birdman? That was nothing. Look at our film. No, fuck you. Birdman is better than this shit. Even though it does have some cuts in it, too. This, instead of doing all one shot, you'll have parts where their screen on the fucking Skype chat will lag, and they put in a new scene. Or they'll have a scene where somebody closes the window. Bam, we'll use fresh takes for that. Fuck you for promoting this. Oh, this is all done in one take. Wow, we're so cool. We're great. How great of a director am I? No, you stink. And you lied to people. And then worst on top of that, after all the bullshit in the behind the scenes, you get the movie itself. We follow, I think it's like 5 or 6 assholes that they're all stereotypical. You got the pretty girl, it's a bitch. You've got her friend that's a pretty girl, it's a bitch. You have the friend that nobody likes, but she's in the fucking friend group. You got the fat fucking kid. You've got the fucking 2 fucking, jockey, cocky assholes. Basically what you got here. A real great cast of characters. And they insinuate that these people bullied this girl that ultimately committed suicide. Now, here's the first problem of this story that you're trying to tell. Laura Barnes. Oh, Laura Barnes. She killed herself. She was, this, that, and the other. If you see a picture of the bully in this movie, the lady is hotter than shit. Nobody was bullying this lady. Here's my problem. Your fucking antagonist that we're supposed to have sympathy for because, we're trying to cut deep on cyberbullying and make a horror movie that talks about cyberbullying. No. Fuck no, it just didn't work because look at your fucking victim was a hot lady. Ain't nobody bullying that lady. You can't tell me for 2 seconds that anybody bullied Laura Barnes. Nobody. If we had a girl look like that at my high school, nobody would have bullied her. We would have pulled her fucking chair out, asked her to fucking prom, whatever the fuck. Nobody would have bullied her. But no, okay. She was bullied. She got pissed drunk at a party. She shit herself. Somebody fucking filmed it. And then she shot herself at fucking arm's length with a gun. That's how she killed herself. Not this way anyone else would do was shoots herself. Both of those videos somehow make it on YouTube. I don't know how, because YouTube would take that shit down. But okay, they're on YouTube. And then you follow these people as one by one they're picked off in the worst ways in horror film history. The fat kid being the worst one. And I like the actor. I really like Jacob Wysocki. I love him in Terry. I think he's great. And this is the shit he gets handed after being in Terry, was this movie. This fat kid is making salsa in his bedroom. He has a blender and he goes, I'm going to make my world famous salsa. He has a blender in his room, which he plans to make salsa with. And then at one point oh, fuck you. Fuck, Laura was a bully. Laura was a bitch. Fuck you. You know, he's talking shit to this ghost who's haunting their Skype chat. And then his scene cuts, it comes back, and he's putting his hand in the blender, blending his own hand to death. And that's one of the death scenes in this movie. Who the fuck brings a blender in their room on top of their computer desk and wants and plans to make salsa? Don't you have a kitchen, you fat fuck? Like, what the hell? I remember in the theater burst out laughing when I saw it. I'm like, what the hell? What is this? You have one girl, her lights turn off in her house, and she runs into the bathroom, fucking, you know, screaming, and she fucking kills herself with a curling iron. Like, all the deaths are trying to make it look like these kids killed themselves. And it's obvious that, like, the ghost is forcing them to do it. One kid accidentally shoots himself with a gun because they say, oh, if you reveal this note, so-and-so will die. And she reveals the note, and the guy out of nowhere has a gun and shoots him fuck himself. That's one of the deaths in this movie. Oh, my God, horrible. And really, I mean, they're trying to use the utilization of the internet failed miserably here. Oh, we'll share the screen. They share the screen at one point, and then she's on the side, like, talking to her boyfriend. Bitch, you shared your whole screen. She's like, oh, fuck, Val shouldn't say this. Oh, Jacob is a fucking pussy. But you screen shared, you dumb hoe. They can see what you're fucking saying. And she's like, oh, nobody says shit. No, apparently when you screen share this movie, everyone just ignores that when you talk shit about them to your fucking boyfriend who you're cheating on, you bitch. What? Like, I don't understand. Horrible utilization. There's a point where she tries to go on Omegle to call for the cops. I'm not making this up. She goes on Omegle. She's like, hello, this is a horrible thing. Me and my friends were being cyberbullied on the internet by Laura Burns. She shot herself a year ago. Can you please call the cops? I'm in Santa Clara, Florida, and fucking California. I don't know where the fuck I am because there's a bunch of shit. She's yelling at this fucking two Indian guys in Omegle. They're like, hello. Who the fuck would try to use Omegle to call the cops? And they're like, oh, and bitch, do you have like the region? I don't know what to say. Like the region lock, you know? Like, okay, I didn't use Omegle much, but Omegle, you could do it where it was like people that are in your area or on whatever coast you're on. This bitch is like talking to people from all over the fucking country, talking with people, fucking Omegle. And she's like, please call the cops. Me and my friends are being cyberbullied. I would be like, bitch, haha, click. What? Like, what a weird, oh my God. But truly the worst part of this movie is when they decide to play Never Have I Ever. That's one of the big climactic scenes in the movie where people that did like this movie, and for whatever reason, this movie was really liked. A lot of people like this movie. I will die not knowing why or understanding why. They're playing Never Have I Ever, which is a game where they have to put their fucking hands up and they have to say, oh, never have I ever fucked Adam. Never have I ever shoved my hand. Never have I ever shoved my hand in a blender that was going to make chunky salsa with in my fucking bedroom on top of my computer. Never have I ever done that. Neither has any fucking body in the world. I don't care how much you like salsa. Never have you ever done that shit. And if you have, here's the double bird. What the hell? Oh my God. They're playing Never Have I Never, or never have I ever seen a movie this fucking stupid. they're playing that and they're trying to go with the context of, oh, we're going to have them turn on each other. I'm a writer. I write things. You know what you could do with that pen? I will tell you what you could do with that pen. You could shine it up real nice, turn that sunbit sideways, and stick it straight up your candy ass. God damn it, man. What? What the fuck? Fucking kids. And then it's like, let's just break for comments. I'm out of steam. I think I've lost my mind. Seriously, I really do. This movie is the bottom of the barrel. It's just the bottom of it. It's the bottom of the blender. God damn it. The blender rant. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on the Manitou. Yeah, the Manitou. Holy shit. The Manitou might be the best movie on this wheel. Oh, yeah, I can only handle the First Species movies, and that's being generous. I like the First Species movie. After that, yeah, I can't handle any more alien cock after that. Yes, the rant I've been waiting for. Well, happy fucking birthday, Brett. I hope that you're making chunky salsa in your room with a blender right now. And if you're not, I don't know, you're just not living, my friend. Dallas could be up 100-0, but if you're not making chunky salsa in your room with a blender, I just don't think you're living, my friend. One of the classic movies that takes place in only one place is Rear Window. Yeah, well, Rear Window is a lot better than this movie. I couldn't even finish Unfriended. I saw this. Now, this is a little bit of an anecdote to sidetrack us. I saw this opening night in a movie theater with a bunch of friends, and we'd seen the trailer, and I thought the trailer looked terrible, but we were like, oh my God, we can just go and make fun of it. Little did I know how angry I was going to walk out. I walked out basically with this rant live, and they were crying. I remember we went to Applebee's. If you follow me on Instagram, you can find the picture. We took a picture at Applebee's the night we saw this movie. And I remember being like, I spent $7.50 for this shit when I could have just went to Applebee's and got mozzarella sticks. And I cut like a Jim Cornette promo on this movie. Like, I remember my friend Kelly was laughing. She was laughing so hard. She was crying, laughing. Oh my God, I'll never forget that night. That was crazy. Don't feel bad. This movie earned a Miss C rant. So stupid. Just turn off the computer and unplug it. Oh, okay. So I didn't explain that. So to be fair, the ghost lady, the Laura Burns lady who killed herself, even though, again, defeating your own movie's purpose, she was a terrible person too. She was hot. What fucking bullied kid ever was hot? And she apparently was a bully and a terrible person herself. So even the villain, I don't feel sympathetic for. This really could have been done properly if it was written better. But no, we got a hot fucking kid that was bullied and killed herself. Okay. Yeah, she was a fucking piece of shit bully herself. So everyone's a piece of shit. Yay! Pull out your blenders. But they also are threatened, you can't, if you turn off the chat, you'll die. If you attempt to leave, you'll die. If you call the cops on the phone, you'll die. She basically tells them all that. They're like, what? Nobody really tries it. I think one lady tries it. She's like, me and my friends are being cyberbullied. Can you please come to my house? Wouldn't the police just laugh? And like, what would the police do? I'm asking this genuinely. If you call the cops and said, hello, me and my friends are being cyberbullied by a fucking dead person. Like, I couldn't imagine the cops taking that seriously, man. Like, I don't know. Oh my gosh. Juno 2000's in the hazy. Hey, Grande, I seen Unfriended, and it was absolutely a boring piece of shit. And even my dad, who enjoys horror movies, found this movie to be boring as shit. And we spent first 15 minutes someone on Facebook. Yeah, we do. We watch her scroll through Facebook for about 15 minutes of this 82-minute movie, which that includes credits. So yeah, I don't think they had much for a feature film here. Even the shit that they did try to fill in. Fucking Skype. Dude, it's more like Google Hangouts. And people remember Google Hangouts, they lagged. They were, it was like, hello. Like, it would be fucking like, elongated words and shit. The connection was just bad. And that was what it was. It's just, I think of all of these, it's the worst idea. Because, I get it, but you're barking up the wrong tree. Like, even now, even 10 years later, this movie feels dated. And it's only 10 years old. It just feels dated. It just feels stupid. Omegle, it's dated. Fucking, I can't download the file. What's wrong? And you see in the corner, she has an episode of Saturday Night Live downloaded, so she can't download a message from the killer. She's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to compute. What? You're making a movie about kids that spend their time on the internet and they don't know how to use the internet. What the hell? You mean you don't like kills when a kid sticks his fucking hand in a blender? Yeah, that's what I mean. What does that mean to say that you do? You do like that? It's too bad, and they don't make movies about computer hacking anymore because they're Slasher Fred, yeah, War Games, yeah, again another one that's a lot better, and I would rather watch a movie about computer hacking. Unfriended was absolutely one of the stupidest fucking horror movies I've ever seen in theaters, and we're stuck with these unlikable jackass characters. So here you go, Juno's young like me. Juno, I'm assuming 2000s when he was, so he would be around 24-ish, maybe 20, I don't know. But again, yeah, we're a couple years apart. I'm 27. So, this was the shit we got to see in a fucking theater, you know? So, I wanted to unfriend fucking the cinema after I saw this movie in the theater. There isn't even anything appealing about Unfriended, and I tried watching it out of boredom and glad I don't remember anything from the 20 minutes I saw. Yeah, no, it's not. Here's my thing. This was a terrible idea and was done horribly. It's stupid. I do think of all the ideas that, and even though this was the worst one, the bullying aspect, the horrors of bullying could have been done right here. Like, had a couple of things been changed, it wouldn't even have been that fucking drastic. Let's say all these kids get picked off and then we're left with Blair, our lead character Blair, which I wonder which found footage horror movie they were fucking referencing with that. Blair. Yeah, I'll give you a fucking one hint. Blair was the one that shared the video of her shitting herself and thus was the big reason why she killed herself. So Blair was really the one at fault. You killed all her friends. Imagine if it ended, Unfriended ended with the fact that she is now exposed. This has now been shared on the internet. Everyone's seeing this, that she's the one that directly caused this video to surface. And the fact that, Laura Barnes did murder herself over this. You make her live the rest of her life. She lost all her friends in this Skype chat. Everyone thinks she's an absolute monster, which she is. And we could play on the horrors of her having to live out the rest of her life as this monster that she obviously created through using the internet tool. That would have been miles better than what they did. Or even she knows that's going to be her fate and kills herself. That would have been even fine. Instead, what they do, the movie, everyone gets picked off, and Blair's like, I'm so sorry. She closes her laptop, and someone goes, at the fucking, which the entire movie we've been watching on a webcam, and then all of a sudden we close it, we're in this bitch's dark bedroom, and he goes, duh, and the movie ends. What? Oh my God, what a bad ending. What a horrendously bad, offensively bad ending. Fuck you. Oh, yeah, the characters really brought down the movie. Some of the scares were effective at least. Yeah, I don't think you can get much tension out of this. Like they try with the Never Have I Ever. They have a point where the ghost is counting down. If you don't answer in 10, 9, 8. And it's just sending messages. It's just 8, 10, 9, 8, like spamming messages to them that, oh God, somebody answer the Never Have I Ever. Fuck. Hey Grande, hey all, Fever Dreamland Theater, what a time to stop by. I'm super late to what I know is an epic stream. Well, buddy, yeah, you came just in time. This is the one I hate the most. I can't believe I wasted my money. Dude, that's $7.50. I'm still pissed I lost. And I'm not a cheapskate. I'm pissed too. At theaters, and when me and my dad left after the movie finished, and there's some people in the background said this, dude, a lot of people like this movie. It gets a 5.6 on IMDb. I was talking with Brett. Brett says he never found the movie bad or offensive, or he always thought it was a decent movie. So there are quite a few people that like the movie. I will never understand that. I would watch Species 2 3 times before I'd watch Unfriended again. There's no doubt. And I hate Species 2. Who isn't in the mood for good salsa? I'll tell you what, if you haven't broken out your salsa cans by now, what are we doing? And guac. Yeah, salsa and guac, of course. Is the sequel to this worse? I have not seen the sequel, to be perfectly honest. I am not that brave. I know the sequel has nothing to do with this. It's just about the dark web, and it's shot like a standard film. Because again, you want to talk about worst ideas ever. This was made for $1 million and grossed $63 million worldwide. $1 million budget, grossed $63 million, and my $7.50 went in there somewhere. So unfortunately, I contributed to that shit. So I'm sorry. Homemade homicide. Yeah, that's how crazy I'm going. I thought it said homicide salsa special ingredient, chopped hands. Yeah, you want some sausage fingers from Fat Kid? Eat the salsa there. A guy named Cinematic Venom did a review collaboration with Cinematic Excrement. Oh my God, dude. Excrement. Dude, my brain is just reading shit now because this movie's so bad. For this movie, they even poke fun at the blender guy being, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, for real. That's, oh my God, you have to make fun of that shit. Watching the Care Bear movie is more scary than this stupid fucking horror movie. I agree. I think it is the stupidest. I really do believe. Chunky Salsa, fucking Omegle. I swear to you, she tries to call the cops on Omegle. She starts crying. Please help me and my friends. We're being bullied. Cyberbullying is a horrible thing. It could be executed properly, but oh my God, what a bunch of shit. Miss C, you're on a streak tonight. Yeah, Herzel, yeah. I forgot that shit even existed. It happens sometimes, Double H. Yeah, Miss C's rolling. Why don't one of the teens even try going? Oh, also, too, I'm sorry, I'll read this whole thing. Try going out of their houses to go to the police station. Like either take their laptops or imagine that. Imagine one of them. I'm going to drive to the police station with my fucking laptop, bro. I would have fainted in the theater. But also, none of these kids' parents are home. None of them. Not one of them have parents home to just call the cops and the movie's over. Like, not one of them had a parent home. Like, how convenient. Like, oh, shit, I hate this. LOL, they actually attempted a sequel. Geez, FML. Yeah, it does have a sequel, just like the Gallows. It's got a sequel, too. Listen, $63 million. That says a lot. It says a lot, you know? This is the truth. A sequel. Yeah, a sequel. Granted, the sequel is like nothing. It's a sequel like in name only. It's about the dark web, and it's nothing like that. It's not another haunted Skype chat. Thank fucking Jeebus. And I'm not a religious man. Unfriended is a complete dumbass of a horror movie. And me and my dad, oh man, you and your dad fucking, I would love to hear the shoot interview of this. We're strongly disappointed in watching Unfriended. Unfriended and The Grudge 2020 are two of the worst horror movies I've seen in theaters. Yeah, those are both really not good ones. And this, I believe Unfriended was a March release. When did this drop in the theater? April. Okay, so this was April, so not quite summer yet, but yeah, this was like a mid-April release. It just celebrated, I believe, its 10th anniversary. Well, no, it was 2015 theatrically, but it was film festivals in 2014. So yeah, this is woohoo, Grande with this epic rant. Thank you. Yeah, skip that one. Glad I did. Yeah. I think that's the long story short, Mernsy. You're a lot smarter than me in that regard. You know how to skip them, and I fucking went there on opening night with my friends with a smile on my face. LOL, bro. This is the rant for the ages. This is my birthday present from you, Grande. Thank you. You know I was looking forward to this one, dude. I'm glad that I could entertain. I'm glad because this movie did not entertain me. This movie is complete ass and dog shit. Yes, it is. I find it amazing how you guys intentionally watch movies like this. I definitely cannot sign up. Dude, I went like to the theater with a bunch of people. We were like, oh yeah, we'll see a movie. Holy shit. Double G is Jim. But I mean, goddamn. We ordered the damn shit. So don't you fucking cuss me, you fucking ugly bitch. Jim Cornette is hysterical. And like if I ever got into wrestling, I would probably try to be like that type of promo. Like he's just so fun in what he says, and he's always, but the drive-through podcast is great. Like I love, there's a great rant he has on Mark Madden, who is a piece of shit. He announced for the Steelers actually, where Mark Madden like threatened to no-show something where it was like all for a guy that survived cancer, and he's like, Mark Madden, you fat fuck, I drove you and I bought you Wendy's, you fat cow, and I'm standing in line to spend my hard-earned money, and I work for the worst creative team in the business of professional wrestling. Jim Cornette's great. They would probably think we were off. Dude, yeah, probably. I mean, shit. Hey, Grande's Graveyard. Ginger Ninja JK is in the heezy. What's going on? We're doing good, buddy. We're doing good. We're suffering through the wheel of torture. We got 2 more movies to go through. I don't hate either as bad as this one. This is really the main event here. People saying hi to one another. This Grande rant is ripping on the movie. Is a new ass is more exciting than anything than this boring piece of shit. Rusty is here. 62.9 million against a $1 million budget JS. Yeah, right? It's fucking crazy, man. Jeez. Rusty, always good to see you. Rusty just did a video of like underrated, or I'm sorry, it's movies that most hate that he loves. And it's popping off. He's like over 1,000 views. I got through half of it on my lunch. Really good stuff. So Rusty, hope all's well with you, man. I got Unfriended and its sequel on BR for a few bucks each. Worth it. Okay, fair enough. So it doesn't sound like you entirely hate it. Yeah, I don't mind the movie LMAO, but it's definitely not something I would call good. Some parts of it are dumb. That is genuinely entertaining to me. That's fair enough. Like the Card Player for me. Although the Card Player is Suspiria compared to this movie. Dark Web is a great sequel. It's 16.4, gets 1 million on a limited release. Wow, limited release making 16.4 is pretty nuts. I never saw it. I can't say it's bad because, again, they completely changed like it's not shot on webcams. It's not about a haunted Skype chat about a hot bully that was also a bully. So I could see it being better than this for sure. Hello, Dark Web, fuck that shit. That's kind of where I'm at. Dark Web has no supernatural, but it's all filmed through okay. Sid corrected. I thought it was like a standard film. Oh my, okay, I didn't know that. So there you go. Maybe it's Jim Cornette needs to be. Dude, why haven't they? I mean, I guess most of his, but no, just for the OVW stuff alone, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He trained Cena. He trained Batista. He trained Orton. He trained Brock. He trained Shelton. He trained so many great talents that were all like world champions. I have no idea why Jim Cornette's not in the Hall of Fame. I think he inducted, I forget who he inducted. I don't know if it was Smokey or the fucking Heavenly Bob. I forget who he inducted, but he was at the Hall of Fame a couple years ago, and they were so scared he was going to like go off script. But Jim Cornette's great, man. Grande, you could be young Jim Cornette's twin. All you need is a tennis racket. Well, thank you, Miss C. I'd like to think I'm a little bit more in shape, but not that much. He should be. Best beef moments was, oh my God, the Vince Russo rants. You think my rant on Unfriended was good? Watch anything of Jim Cornette on Vince Russo. It is the fucking funniest shit you'll ever hear. It's great. But that's the opposite of this movie, which is this is the worst movie on this list without a doubt, and it's Unfriended. The worst idea horror movies have ever had, and the stupidest single horror film I've ever watched in my life. Unfriended can go to hell. And it can go into a blender that you can turn on. But let's spin the wheel. The final time tonight. We got 2 left. What's it going to be? All right. Sorry, Mernsey. We're going to have to wait for the Manitou. It is Circle. Circle from 2015. Brief plot synopsis for this movie. Held captive and faced with their imminent executions. 50. Count them. 50. Strangers are forced to choose one person among them who deserves to die next. Wow. Now, this was a movie that just dropped on Netflix, again, around the same time. I think it was like 2015-ish. This just dropped on Netflix, and it was a big movie for like a few weeks, and everyone was talking about this movie. Holy shit. All this movie is like a bad Saw ripoff. Mixed with like Hunger Games and like Battle Royale and maybe even, before it came out, like Squid Games a little bit. We have 50 dumbasses standing in a room. It's a black room, and they're all standing on these red dots that you'll see on the poster. Every like minute, one of them is killed off with a laser beam. There's a laser beam that comes out of the fucking thing and zaps a random person, and that's it. So you have 50 minutes, and then, of course, at the end, there can only be one survivor of the movie. And this fucking movie plays out where you can vote, like you can start to vote on who gets killed, who gets picked off, and like you lock in your vote like this, like it's a game show. Like my vote's locked in on who will be voted off, survivor. Fucking stupid. And this is basically a horror movie where you take those concepts, you try to rip those movies off, but you have no tension because every minute somebody's dying. It's the over gratuity of these people dying every single minute that completely kills the suspense. If it was every couple of minutes, if it was only, we'll all die unless we pick one by one. All these people do, they stand in a room. It's some of the worst actors you've ever seen, standing in a room, arguing. My son died in a terrible car accident. I've been so sad over his death. Just kill me. Pick me. Zap. Dead. there's a pregnant lady. She should live because she's technically worth 2 people. And that's the entire movie are these dumbass conversations between these dumbass actors trying to decide who should be killed off next. It is atrocious, man. It is such a bad film. And it's too little too late for this type of concept. Like, whatever happened to Saw? 2 guys wake up in a room. They don't know how they got there. They don't know who brought them there, but they have to figure out the mystery along the way and play the game and figure out Jigsaw. That's a great movie. It's 2 people in a room, and there's all the suspension in the world from the beginning moment to the ending moment. This will add 48 other people. We'll kill one off every fucking minute. We'll bring all these sort of logical and psychological kind of debates and arguments into it, and we'll pick who deserves to live over other people. And there's assholes, there's good people, there's people that don't vote at all. There's a guy that doesn't speak the entire movie and somehow makes like the final 3 people. It's just a horrible movie. It's on Netflix. I know it was a huge movie on Netflix when it came out. And it is just torture. It, to me, is like one of the worst. And then the big unveil at the end, which I'm sure you're all on the edge of your seat to fucking know, is that they're on like an alien spaceship. And once it gets down to the pregnant lady, this guy votes for her when he says, I'm going to vote for myself. I'm going to just don't vote and I'll vote for myself. And he votes for her and she dies. And then, twist, the baby is technically a person. So he votes for the baby. So he kills the 2 of them. Then next thing you see, he's on Earth and he's like, oh my God, I survived. You see hundreds of these ships and then a bunch of pregnant ladies that are on the street. So he's like, oh, I stick out like a sore thumb because obviously the good morality of Americans and people all around the world picked this moral fucking decision to have the pregnant ladies live. And it's a whole experiment from these aliens to see if we're fucking moral. Fuck you. This is a terrible idea. There's no suspense. There's no tension. There's no good conversations to have about psychology and society. It's just all rushed. The whole killing people off every minute was the worst decision in this worst idea of a horror movie because you just completely crippled it from having any sort of long-lasting impact as you're watching the film. So that's Circle in a nutshell. And man, you'll be going in fucking circles if you try to watch this shit. The Rock and Roll Express. Thank you. Yes, that was it. Russo versus Cornette steel cage death match. It would be epic. Oh my God, who wouldn't pay money to see that? Or a buried alive match. I know that he said he will piss on the grave of Vince Russo, and if his wife doesn't wheelchair him there, she's out of the will or something. So funny. This came out in 2015, so this was technically after the Saw train had died down. Yeah, but it's a clear ripoff. It's a clear we want to be Saw. We want to be like these movies, they similar like the torture movies, but we won't torture people, we'll just laser beam them. Like just stupid. Like couldn't they have even died in different ways? Like, was there any creativity here? It was just, no, again, low budget, nothing movie. We have all these bad actors in one room. Let's just fucking do it. And it's just terrible. It's such a low budget piece of shit. Double H, I saw the one Cornette Russo rant where he said he was going to outlive Russo. Yeah, that's right. That's the one. That's the one. Yep. See, there you go. Me and Miss C were watching that one. But yeah, so that is Circle. And yeah, victory lap for the Manitou. That's the one that lasted the longest. And it's probably the best of all these movies. Really enough. I really do believe that. We'll take its victory lap. And the Manitou is the last movie we'll be talking about here tonight on Gallows program. Now, this is the oldest movie on the list. It's from the year 1978, and we have a brief plot synopsis. A psychic girlfriend finds out that a lump on her back is the growing reincarnation of a 400-year-old demonic Native American midget. You're not hearing this wrong. I'll read it again. A psychic's girlfriend finds out that a lump on her back is a growing reincarnation of a 400-year-old demonic Native American midget. That's the Manitou. The Manitou. This, of course, was a William Girdler joint right as he died. This is one of, if not the last movies he ever did. Of course, William Girdler made a ton of, I would even call them C movies, like Grizzly. The guy loved making C movies, just loved doing it, and made an entire career out of making joints like that. And this was the last C movie, I think, if one of the last movies that he ever did. And man, this takes the cake. This is definitely the most watchable of all of his movies. It basically stars Susan Strasberg as this woman And she wakes up one day with this giant fucking growth on her back. She's like, "What the fuck is this?" Goes to the doctor. "Oh, we don't know. We don't know." She keep getting bigger every day. And then she meets Tony Curtis's character. They have kind of the thing, and then basically it comes to the realization this is a Native American midget from 400 years ago that's growing out of your back. We need to surgically remove it as soon as possible. You hear this and it sounds funny. It sounds like it's goofy and would be taken for a laugh. It is played more seriously than The Godfather. It is the most seriously, it's taking itself so seriously. It's like, oh my God, this is a big deal, blah, blah, blah. A Native American midget is growing out of this woman's back. And they're like, "You're taking this seriously now, are you?" Like, what the fuck, man? Like, oh my goodness, what a weird film this is. Just so fucking odd as they do remove it and the fucking thing comes to life. And it's it's not as good as Alien when the chest burster comes out and comes to life. No, this is the opposite of that. By the end of this movie, they go to fucking outer space, and the fucking big chief from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is in this. Shocking, like shocking. They go from this woman having a growth of a Native American midget off her back. They surgically remove it. It comes to life. Then out of nowhere, they're in space. They're in space. Tony Curtis is in this movie. Yes, that Tony Curtis, the same year that Jamie Lee Curtis's biggest movie ever came out in Halloween, 1978. So go figure. Tony Curtis was making movies about Native American midgets coming out of people and then going to outer space with the fucking big chief from fucking Cuckoo's Nest. And Jamie Lee was making a little movie called Halloween that I've never heard of. Wow. I mean, bizarre. And like, to me, the craziest thing, and the reason this is such a bad idea is to play it seriously. If you play this as a joke, wow, I think this would have a cult following. But instead, hardly anybody remembers or knows the Manitou. And there's probably a good reason for that. It's a very blah film. But the idea of it and the whole fact where she's like, "You got to get this thing out of me." Like, to me, I find that shit funny. Like, when I first saw it, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I'm like, what? Like, I'm watching, I'm like fucking cleaning my glasses room. I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck? And it just only gets crazier from there. Well, by the end, I swear to you, they're in outer fucking space. Like, they open a door somewhere and then they're just in space. Like, they don't take a spaceship there. They're just there. Like, I don't know. I should have rewatched this for show prep because the movie is a little bit not fresh in my mind, but holy shit. The Manitou is fucking crazy. I keep forgetting about the Manitou and never seen it, but I'm pretty sure I'll get to eventually. Yeah, it's the best of the 8 we talked about, which is crazy that it was the last one. But yeah, I would say if I like you had, Laura Byrne, a blender to my hand, I would pick the Manitou to watch of these 8 movies. I was rolling on the floor laughing so hard at the Manitou. It's what I call so bad it's good. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like, it's not really I think maybe that's why it's so bad it's good, is because it plays itself so seriously. Like, I think this type of idea probably should have been played for laughs, but it's so unintentionally funny that it has the so good it's bad thing. Mateo says, "You got me at the plot synopsis. I'm going to watch it. Would the midget show up on an MRI?" I think it does. Yeah, I think they take like MRIs of it, and you can see it's like a little Native American. And by it comes out, he's like running around. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God, William Girdler was just a treat, man. It's such a shame he's gone. Because who knows what other great B movies we would have gotten from him, man. He was an underrated guy, in my opinion. Just really good C movie filmmaker. I saw it on Look Movie maybe 2 months ago. It's probably still available. I see it's only available to rent on here, but who knows? Not the same old 400-year-old demonic Native American midget growing out of a woman's back trope. Yeah, that one that's been done 107 times. No, I will say it's an original idea. I don't know who the fuck. I mean, it says it was written by 3 people, but I'm sure William Girdler was just smoking one day and just said, what if after we make our Jaws rip off with a grizzly bear, what if we have a Native American midget grow out of fucking Susan Strasberg and Tony Curtis and the fucking chief are there? Like, what and then they're in space. Like, you cannot tell me that whoever wrote that was not on serious psychedelics. Like, and they fucking go through with it and they're like, yeah, this is serious. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's the laser show at the end. What the fuck? Like, oh, what a weird film this is, man. The movie came out the same year as the original Halloween. Yeah, I did mention that. Ella, it probably would be making the best faces in that MRI. Yeah, it smiles for the MRI. Like, hi, I'm a 400-year-old Native American midget. I will say this. I'm sorry. I forget how they even try to explain it. Like, granted, you could pay me money right now to try to explain it and off the top of my head and make up how to explain it. And I couldn't explain it to you how that would fucking happen. I don't know. But that's basically where they went with this. Yeah, a 400-year-old Native American midget grows out of this woman's back, gets come out, and then fucking they all meet up with the chief and they go to space. That's this movie. That's the Manitou. So yeah, is what it is. Yeah, so that was the last movie on the Wheel of Torture. This has been a very fun show. We had a lot more people in the house than we have the past couple of weeks. So maybe if people like this idea, maybe we'll do more of these down the road. I don't know. I have a feeling next week might be a little crowded too, as I do a first time ever on Grande's Graveyard where I will discuss the state of the genre of 2024. I will go through the movies horror-wise that I've seen the first 6 months of this year, and we'll talk about them. The good, few of those. The bad, a lot of those. And the goddamn ugly, and I'm sure a lot of those too, of the ones that I've seen. But if you've seen movies, if you're keeping up with appearances of movies like that, that's going to be next week's show. So I'm thinking we're going to have a lot of people in the house because generally the viewership goes with how people have seen these. Or if it's a topic like this, people just know I'm going to get pissed off. And yeah, it happened twice tonight. I'm definitely interested to go there, talk about the year of horror that is, and address the state of the genre right here and now at the halfway point of 2024. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a fun show. Of course, we have the Fulci Fan Fun Week the following week where we're going to have a bunch of people in the graveyard. Still working out the kinks on that. We're going to meet, I believe, sometime over the weekend with Will and Jeff. And we're going to discuss the format of that show. So any Fulci fans, very excited for that. And then, of course, I think towards the end of the month, I did like 8 films to die for and stuff like that. So got stuff planned for July and stuff. Nothing in the books yet, but we're getting there. And this was a lot of fun show tonight. So let me kill the comments and we'll call it an evening. Hers Hill, wow, perfect timing. Good night, Double G. Must work the pug. Dude, peace. Thank you for sticking this out with me. It was a lot of fun, a lot of Wheel of Torture, but I had a good time. Good night to the chat. Peace to you. Later, Double H. One of Tony Curtis's known movies was the classic comedy Some Like It Hot. Oh, I love Some Like It Hot. That's a great movie. I'm going to catch what I missed on the replay. Oh, totally, man. Totally. Thank you. Oh, the horror genre has been shit this year. Well, most likely. I mean, yeah, the one I still have ones I have to watch, and that will be my prep. Some of the stuff I missed, and we'll go from there. We'll talk about a lot, though. There is a lot I've seen. I saw Late Night with the Devil. I saw Stop Motion. I saw Night Swim. I saw The Strangers Chapter 1. I've seen more horror movies this year than I have in a long time. So we're going to try to cover as much as humanly possible. Madeline Petch will save us all, though. Oh, we got to love Madeline Petch. Only such an epic stream. Gracias Grande. De nada, Texas. Thank you, sir. Had a good weekend, Graveyard Crew. Absolutely. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you're catching the replay, comment down below. Let me know what you think of these 8 movies, if you think they're horrible ideas. If you have other ideas that you thought was just as bad, if not uglier or worse than these 8 that I discussed here tonight. If you want to see a sequel to this, me pick more worst horror movie ideas, would be open to doing that as well. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. This was such a fun show. Too sweet peace, and we will catch you next time. Only, where's your blenders? On the graveyard. Good night, everybody. Cheers.